Welcome back to No Cap Movie Recap. I'm your host Denzel, and today we will be recapping The Woman in the Yard. Oh, all right. So we're gonna talk about this woman, but before we get into that, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment. Man, I'm trying to get back on this thing. Okay, I'm trying to bring good content. So I'm gonna need about 50. I need 50 likes. Let's get to 50 likes. We got 20 on the last one. Make sure that you sub and roll to 500 subs. So getting right into it. In the rural part of America, right? We're in the countryside. In the countryside, we find a grieving widow looking to recover from her bodily and emotional injuries from what we suspect is a car accident that has literally transformed her and her children's lives. In the unfortunate event, her husband, David, has passed away from the accident, leaving her to fend for her children and also for herself and her mental state. And so we're just dropped directly into this movie. So the power's out at the home at this time. Beautiful southern day from what I assume. It looks like it's southern. Let me know in the comment section if they're somewhere else in like Idaho or something. I don't know. But Ramona is her name. And her son Taylor, also nicknamed as Tay, they noticed as they're having breakfast in the morning that there's this random woman in the yard. She's just sitting there. And this woman appears literally right after Ramona is recalling the tragic event of the car accident. Ramona gets out into the yard and approaches this woman, starts to have a discussion, and this woman is very ominous, to say the least. As I'm watching this lady, I think of like my grandma sitting outside summertime, and you just look out there, you see your grandma sitting out in her rocking chair. She's enjoying the country breeze, the green grass, and the southern shade, right? This is what this woman's aura is giving in this movie at first. But we all know that this something ain't quite right. This lady has a veil over her, and she's dressed fully in black. And she, being a black woman, should know better, being dressed in full black, that she gonna absorb that sun. She gonna get hot. But she's sitting there. She ain't sweating. She ain't need no water. She ain't asked for nothing. She just sat there. So obviously there's something wrong with her. So she asks her, how did I get here? And what's her name? This woman has such a southern flair and just a charm to her, to me. But there's just something that's off, because she knows a lot more about Ramona and her situation than she should. Then she says, ever wish someone else would be strong and you could disappear? And Ramona's sitting there in shock, because then this woman asks her and tells her, you called and I came. And literally after that, Ramona is spooked. She goes right back in the house and she acts as if nothing is wrong. Tay is already trying to figure out in full suspicion, what do you know? Who is that lady? X, Y, and Z. And to me, as the confrontations with this woman gets more intense and more irate, a lot of things start to unveil itself. And I felt as if initially that this movie was highlighting the slow and rapid erosion of a woman, and especially a black woman's mental health, when there's a lot of weight on her shoulders. I think that is a major component of this movie. I think it also highlights the pain of secrets. And if you continuously hold secrets, there's only going to be pain associated once they are revealed or they come to light. And as a male watching this movie, I also felt like this was a representation of what we could potentially subject our women to, or even our families to, if we are not present. So these are some of the themes that I started to feel initially in the movie. There's imminent danger. There's the mental trauma of trying to figure it out as a adolescent, as a smaller child, as the parent or the guardian that is left to deal with the family. It's a lot of components to me that were being highlighted. I think this movie also highlights the young male who is heroic but unwise, trying to fulfill his father's shoes as being the man of the house. And so once I felt as if I had all of the pieces together midway through the movie gives me a different turn. And this movie's a bit different. This movie made me realize, oh, that's not all of it. Because the woman in black is a representation of something that is way more deeper. And I think, and I can't give you it all, I'm gonna put it there. I gotta stop here. That's where I gotta stop. Why? Because I have to. And the reason why is because I think that there are some people, particularly some women, that may have some color of what Ramona is going through. I'm not saying to the extent that Ramona is dealing with. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there is most likely some form of color or some shade of color that women will relate to. I have to leave it there because I feel like that was very good for them to put that in. And I think it was very necessary for them to put that in, just to be completely honest. And I know you may be sitting there like, well, what is it, Denzel? Well, that's the point. I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Why would I tell you? So you don't go see the movie for yourself, right? And then you can come back and tell me in the comment section, Denzel, it was a lot more simple. It's way too deep. Well, yeah, it could be a lot simple, but I don't think the movie's trying to highlight it being simple. I think the movie's trying to show you that it's not as simple as what you believe that it is, or these kinds of different circumstances. To me, I felt, especially with the time that they had, it highlights a lot of deep things really quickly. That's really necessary that we as our community need to have a conversation about, simply put. That's just my opinion. But I do give this movie, I've been toiling between two numbers, but I'll give it a 6.5. The reason why is that it's not a good movie. Some of it was, one, it was PG-13 and a runtime about 98 minutes. To me, sort of a telltale sign that it's going to lack just a bit. I feel like there could have been a bit more character development, which is fine if there was a budgetary issue of like, hey, we had to fit it into X, Y, and Z. And so I still think that they did a stupendous job of getting the message across succinctly in what they had to work with. They did well with the jump scares, giving you that little thrill suspense factor. I definitely appreciate it. Some of the questions that I still had was, what is the representation of the shadow? And why does the woman in the yard move in a way that is specifically in the shadows? And I think it's really easy to figure that out. Even as I'm speaking through it now, I think I have a hunch, but it makes total sense as to why. Once again, I do recommend going and go see this movie, and so that you can have your own opinions, because I think this is very thought-provoking. This is a very thought-provoking movie. It's not simplistic. It is simple, but it's not just, oh, it's this one thing and just keep going. There's different elements throughout the movie that you can have a full-blown conversation about and really have a good deep dive. The acting was very well done, especially just with what they were dealing with. Now, I will tell you, the lady in the yard was a bit spooky. I can look at it a few times. There was one attic scene that I kept having to like squint my eyes a little bit. But yeah, I couldn't look at them. But that is really what I got for you for The Lady in the Yard. Make sure that you go see it with your little booth. It'll be a good little quick little movie. You get in, get out, and you done. So yeah, until next time, y'all hit that like, subscribe, and comment, and that notification bell for more stuff from No Cap Recap. And like I always say, y'all be easy.